Rahul Gandhi had a big opportunity and a big speech in Parliament today over electoral reforms, which has been the chief debate demand of the opposition and in particular the Congress party. How did that speech go? Has Rahul Gandhi managed to capture the imagination of the voting public ahead of a big year in 2026 of multiple elections? We'll find out. We've got a big panel to debate tonight. And after murdering 25 people at their club, and I say murdering in quotes, of course, the coward bromios, Gaurav and Saurabh Luthra, are hiding in Thailand. My question is, could they have gotten away if we were a serious country and if they did not have friends in high places, government, judiciary, police, whatever? I will be asking those questions tonight as well. Let's go straight to our top story. I will say it straight tonight, viewer. Rahul Gandhi has once again squandered an opportunity to set the mood, turn the narrative and get some semblance of control over the direction of the Indian political conversation. For days, the Congress leadership staged dramatic protests outside Parliament, demanding a debate on the Special Intensive Revision or SIR process to purify our electoral rolls. Finally, when the stage was Rahul Gandhi's in the afternoon today, when the cameras were on him, when Parliament and the country were listening, Rahul Gandhi delivered a speech that can only be described, even by his admirers, as a damp squib. Unmemorable, uninspiring, uninventive, old wine in the oldest possible bottle. Instead of seizing an opportunity to energize his voters, who still desperately want a strong and coherent opposition, Rahul reverted to his comfort blanket vote chori again and again and again, sprinkled with his signature obscure analogies that he hopes will deliver a magical aha moment, except there was no aha moment today. Just a repeat of the frustrated, stuck record feeling that has turned the Congress narrative into something that sounds like a personal grievance project rather than a national vision of India's second largest party. This was a day that demanded fresh ideas on electoral reform and democratic credibility. I said on this show just last night that the debate on electoral reform was more urgent than the Vande Mataram theatrics. But Rahul Gandhi took an opportunity and once again wasted an opportunity. Outclassed by colleagues like Manish Tiwari, overshadowed by Shiv Aroor, who is in no mood these days to lend his eloquence or parliamentary muscle to a party that will not correct course, Rahul Gandhi has displayed the same Rafale scam level stubbornness. His defenders call it commitment, principle. His detractors, including senior party colleagues in the Congress party, quietly say it is the only issue he knows how to flog in every election, so why is he going to abandon it? To make matters worse, his speech today in Parliament was peppered with misleading claims on how the Chief Election Commissioner is chosen, capped with that theatrical but chilling warning that when the regime change happens, we are going to come and find you. He actually said that. It was dramatic, yes, but not meaningful, not strategic. It didn't strike a chord or capture the imagination. Not the speech of a leader who has learned anything from the Bihar disaster. This was the moment to show he's listening to the ground, listening to the electorate, and listening to the battlefield of Indian politics. This was an opportunity for Rahul Gandhi to say, I am changing things around. He was not. And the answer now appears painfully clear.
There is no bigger anti-national act that you can do than vote chori. Because when you destroy the vote, you destroy the fabric of this country. You destroy modern India. You destroy the idea of India. So I'd like to conclude by saying vote chori is an anti-national act and those across the aisle are doing an anti-national act.
51,000 वोट से बाबा जी रामचंद्र काले जीते। मेरे पास पूरी लिस्ट है, मेरे पास 100 जगह की लिस्ट है। यदि कहेंगे तो मैं प्लेस कर दूंगा, इतना समय मैं लेना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन मैं ये कह रहा हूं यदि वोट इंक्रीज हुआ तो फायदा महायुति को हुआ। एसआईआर में वोट यदि डिलीट हुआ तो फायदा आरजेडी कांग्रेस को हुआ। इसके बाद भी आपको जो है एसआईआर खराब लग रहा है।
So Rahul, in the midst and in the passion of that speech, made many claims. He threw around a lot of allegations, many of which don't actually stand up to scrutiny or even a basic fact check, which is why the BJP is also hit back. So here's a Rahul versus reality check list of some of the things he said, because this is important. He's the leader of the opposition. Number one, he claimed the Election Commission has been captured by the BJP. Rhetorical flourish, he's been saying it for a long time. The BJP hits back, says for 70 plus years, it was Congress governments that appointed the CEC. So what is Rahul Gandhi talking about? He said that the BJP says the Modi government actually reformed the election commissioner selection process, and that process was upheld by the Supreme Court in 2023. Then Rahul claims that, asks why CCTV footage is deleted after 45 days. The BJP is hit back saying Prime Minister Nehru it was who created the 45-day rule on challenging results. After 45 days, even the Supreme Court cannot order the probe, and that is why CCTV footage, it's meaningless to store that footage beyond 45 days. Taking even the Bihar election, the most recent election, as an example, it's been 25 days since the result. There are zero complaints and zero demands from the opposition or the Congress for any CCTV footage. Number three, Rahul claims Modi changed the law to protect election commissioners. The BJP hits back and says election commissioners have always enjoyed constitutional protection. That has not changed at all. No election commissioner has been prosecuted in India's history. Did you know that? Claim number four by Rahul Gandhi, that the CEC used to be selected by a panel with the Chief Justice of India and the leader of the opposition. The BJP is hit back, says which CEC under Congress government was selected by a panel? All CECs, says the BJP, under Congress was selected by either Sonia Gandhi or the Prime Minister, and that the opposition was never part of any panel for selection of election commissioners under any Congress government. So was today a lost opportunity? Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party had rightly demanded an extensive debate on electoral reform and SIR. It was an opportunity for Rahul Gandhi to set the mood, clear the decks, appear battle ready, provide direction to a listless opposition in the wake of the Bihar disaster, and prepare for what comes in 2026. How did he do? Let's go straight to our debate with our panelists tonight. Swati Chaturvedi, best-selling author, senior journalist and columnist. Shubhrashtha, author and political analyst. Dr. Akriti Bhatia is a political analyst. She supports the Congress party. And Mamata Kale is a leader of the BJP. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for your time. I see the Rahul Gandhi speech today on the back of loud and, in my view, justified protests that SIR and electoral reforms should have been issue and mudda number one in the winter session of Parliament as a bit of a dud. And I see people who normally admire Rahul Gandhi, even on social media, saying it seems like a wishy-washy, wasted opportunity. You can't think of one point that he made that may have struck a chord anywhere. Shubhrashtha, did it send out any message at all, in your view?
Thank you, Shiv. Thank you for having me on the show. I think it's quite clear that Rahul Gandhi's the discovery of that institutions are at fault and that institutional capture happens only when elections don't favor him. India's democracy, Shiv, is not threatened by voter lists. It is threatened by leaders who see conspiracy whenever people reject them at the ballot box. When he speaks of institutional capture, he forgets that the only institution that's repeatedly rescuing him is the Indian voters' patience. His anger is not about democracy being in danger. It is about the Congress rule losing its relevance election after election. Calling routine electoral revisions vote chori is not democratic dissent, Shiv. It's a very dangerous path on which he is. It is democratic irresponsibility. That man has not been able to submit a single proof either to the Election Commission or given it in writing. Whatever vote chori allegation he's been throwing at. You cannot delegitimize institutions simply because you cannot win through them. Rahul Gandhi keeps saying vote chori, but the only theft that the country remembers is the Congress stealing the mandate in 1975 by suspending democracy itself. It is quite rich and ironic that he comes with this rhetorical flourish and expects people to follow him. Why? Just because he comes from a certain family? Those who imposed emergency in this country should think twice before lecturing India on institutions. Every time Rahul Gandhi loses an election, the institutions suddenly become compromised. If his rhetoric had any bit of moral weight, he should have resigned. He should have ensured that every Congress party MP and all the opposition leaders should actually resign on moral grounds and say that, well, because we are a responsible opposition, here is the kind of proof that we are submitting to the Election Commission of India, and then recapture democratic institutions. Every time he wins a seat, somehow these institutions become heroic. This selective morality is not critique, Shiv, it is confusion. If Rahul Gandhi wants to save democracy, the question we need to ask is, from whom does he want to save democracy?
No, and there's a lot of democracy to save, and I use that in quotes, of course, in 2026. There's a lot of electioneering to happen. So I do see this as an opportunity to sort of create a narrative, capture some imagination, and breathe some shape into how the opposition is going to move forward. Swati, what did you think? Did Rahul Gandhi achieve anything at all? And this is, of course, granted that most of us here agree that, the Election Commission can take on Rahul Gandhi, answer some of his questions. That can be put down to the political mood in general. But it's also Rahul Gandhi's responsibility, to strike a chord and be memorable and set narrative and set perception. Has he achieved that, Swati? Swati, you're on mute. Swati, you're on mute, I'm afraid. Okay, what a pity. I'm going to try and fix that audio with Swati. Are we able to fix that? Can you unmute yourself, Swati? I'm going to ask our team. What a pity this is. I'm going to try and get that. Okay, let me go to Akriti in the meanwhile while we wait for Swati to sort out her audio. Akriti, surely Rahul Gandhi, on the back of, very, very righteous demands for a big debate on SIR, appears to have squandered the opportunity. He's said a lot of things which are not factually correct. He's brought up vote Chori once again, 25 days after, a huge defeat in Bihar. It seems like he's not offering anything to even those who want to support the opposition and like the idea of a stronger opposition.
Exactly. The idea is about having a stronger opposition and about maintaining the sanctity of institutions, and it's about actually neutrality. It's not about the technicalities that we're talking about in terms of during the Congress regime, what was the process of selection of the CEC. It's about in which direction are we moving? Are we moving towards greater centralization? Is there a bias that we need to question about? And any opposition is supposed to ask and raise those questions to strengthen democracy. What you are talking about the 26 polls that are upcoming, or the Bihar elections, these are electoral. Democracy is more than electoral democracy, right? It is also about the institutions and how neutral they are and the perception of it. At least the perception of it is also something that needs to be maintained, and it has to be like there should be fairness, and there should be so these are the nuances that we need to look at. It's not just about the facts. If there were precedents,
you've used the word perception, and I agree with you. A perception needs to be set. And it can't just be about Rahul Gandhi being described as principled and stubborn and refusing to let go of an issue. If it isn't striking a chord, it isn't winning you elections, the people who go out to vote are not swayed by your rhetoric, then what is the point of being stubborn about that issue? Or maybe find a new way to convey it to the public. That's what I'm wondering. Swati, you want to come in? Hope you've been able to fix that audio.
Thank you so much. I think you can hear me now. Thank you for having me.
Akriti, Swati, I'm getting Swati and I'll come back to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Swati, go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, let me begin by saying, Shiv, that, I'm not remotely pro-BJP. I'm an old-fashioned anti-establishment journalist. So, I have a bias to believing, something, is the election commission not working? Having said that, Rahul Gandhi has utterly lost me. He sounds like a sore loser. A philosopher said 100 years ago, the limitations of my language limit my words. And for a politician, Rahul Gandhi is communicating in the pulpit of parliament. And what is he saying? It is an old wine in an old bottle. He said all these same things before. They put up those pictures before. If you and I, we follow this closely. We monitor the election commission. We monitor all of these issues.
Yeah.
For the lay voter, all he sounds like is a very, very sore loser. The optics are wrong. He needs new speech writers. He doesn't even make an effort. What was this? We started off with Khadi, then we moved to Kanjivarams, then we moved to, vote
Yeah, just-
Chori. I mean,
just random.
who has the patience? Who is going to listen to this?
No, I agree with you. The fact that Rahul Gandhi is not a great communicator or a orator is
doesn't
a
make
given.
the
I
effort. He should
don't hold that against him.
Oratory
I don't
skills
hold
and
that
the-
against him. But Akriti, one second. Just hear my question. Swati Chaturvedi, I can guarantee you, is no fan of the BJP at all. She takes them on every single day, through her columns and stuff. And she's saying that, she has no idea what Rahul Gandhi was trying to say. She's completely, he's completely lost her. That is something you need to listen to.
No, I'm definitely listening, and that's a matter of another debate in terms of the positioning of political leaders and national leaders and how they can actually be more eloquent and how they present themselves. Here, the question is much more fundamental. We are talking about institutions and the ruling government, the journalists, and the opposition. Everybody has to take it very seriously. If we are talking about evidences and investigation, those have to be actually. And we saw in the press conference that a lot of evidences were presented where fake voters, repeated duplicate voters, their names came out, and there were so many such cases that have come up. So it's also about how SIR itself is not problematic. It's about the selective additions and deletions that were put in
Swati,
question.
you wanted to quickly rebut, then I'll bring Mamata in as well. Yeah, Swati, quick.
Because this fundamentals is very serious. SIR is very serious. Those suicides are very serious. What is going on with the election commission is extremely serious. And then you have Rahul Gandhi, who completely dilutes the message. He's basically the messenger who's shooting himself. I mean, I'm sorry, like I said before, our language limits our words. For a politician whose biggest issue this is, he's got no other issue at the moment. All he sounds like is a sore loser. I'm very sorry to say this.
It's not about his issue, Swati ji. It's about the issue that is actually...
The issue is diluted by Rahul Gandhi, Akriti. He's not communicating correctly. I agree with you. It's a very serious issue. It's fundamental to our democracy. It's fundamental to India's future. But is this the way? I mean, except for
these aspects of 45 days cutoff and why there was no evidence in 25 days. It takes time for certain things to surface.
But it's not 25. But it's incredible. It's incredible. Akriti, you're suggesting that this is some new rule. It has been there for decades, years and decades together. But yeah, Shubhrashtha, you want to quickly add to what Swati is saying, that one can say that Rahul Gandhi is being very principled and refusing to let go of the vote chori and capture of institution story. But there has to be something to be said about, reading the room, looking at reactions and results, and maybe being intelligent about changing course a little bit.
Shiv, I've also written 2 columns where
I'm coming to you next.
Sorry?
Yeah. Go ahead, Shubhrashtha.
Yeah. So, Shiv, I have also written 2 columns indicting the Election Commission's approach towards the issue and their non-transparency in this matter. They should have actually come and, proposed a solution or proposed a more constructive approach to this entire allegation. I entirely agree with the allegation that there might be some irregularities in SIR.
Yes.
But Rahul Gandhi's choice of optics over obligation is deeply problematic. In Parliament and on camera, we see his dramatic flourish of large-scale irregularities, etc., etc. But when it comes to presenting documented proof before the Election Commission of India, the very institution which is empowered to act on this, he retreats into rhetoric. And Shiv, this is not a one-off case. This is a pattern. Allegations are made in the full glare of media without any evidence submitted where it actually matters. I'm sorry to say this, Shiv. As much as some journalists here would like to believe that democracy runs on press conferences and metaphors, it runs on affidavits, it runs on data, it runs on accountability. As much as these people in the opposition would want to wash it off, it doesn't happen like that. If Rahul Gandhi truly seriously believes there is manipulation of voter lists, the rightful place to present that proof is before the Election Commission of India.
Yeah, and he refuses to do that.
And,
and that's the reason why I wonder if it's really serious or really just largely rhetorical. Mamata, you want to come in? And I have to say, before, Mamata, you can give us your view. But, you had someone like a Manish Tiwari, incredibly eloquent, very compelling arguments. You really wanted to listen to him. He didn't have any of this, stuff about fabric and, cheesy cliches about the fabric of the nation being, being harmed by how, votes are supposed to affect everything. I don't know. I was a little speechless. I agree with Swati on that. Mamata, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Aroor, for having me on your show. And I feel like singing this song for Rahul Gandhi, Ye Kahan Aa Gaye Hum. And I'm sure those who are watching your show will know why am I dedicating this line of the most popular Hindi song to him. Anyways, having said that, today I will tell through your show to the entire nation what vote chori is. When a foreign national gets married to an Indian, and before taking the citizenship of this country, she becomes the voter of this nation, is actually a vote chori.
No, but let's stick on the topic, Mamata. Let's not make it personal about the Gandhis, etc. Let's keep it as specific to what Rahul Gandhi said in Parliament today.
No, so it is related to that, Shiv. It is 100% related to that. If you are talking about vote chori, isn't this not a vote chori? It is a major case of vote chori. And I would request our leader of opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, to come out and speak on this on the floor of the House or in a press conference. Now I will tell you, Shiv, what anti-national is. I am a fighter pilot's wife. My husband has served for many years for this country, and you have been covering forces for a long time.
Yeah.
So anti-national to me and to you and to the entire nation is when the leader of opposition of this country speaks the language of Asim Munir, Shehbaz Sharif and of entire Pakistan post Op Sindoor and asked, kitne Rafale gire? That is anti-national to me. That is anti-national to me. And when did this vote chori when did this vote chori fake narrative of Rahul Gandhi started? Just before Bihar election. And what happened? It did not stick to the voter and to the people of Bihar. What happened then? They not only rejected this fake narrative, they threw the entire Congress party out.
I'm also wondering, Akriti,
they fought 61 seats and got only 6 seats. If it was correct, if the vote chori was a true and correct narrative.
No, I agree. The scale of the victory could not have. I agree. But I want to make one point, because Akriti, Rahul Gandhi chose to use the phrase anti-national, which is a phrase that the BJP loves to use. And I'm just wondering whether that was a strategic error. He's kind of played into the BJP's hands. You've just heard Mamata saying, let me tell you what anti-national really means. Rahul Gandhi has kind of handed ammunition to the BJP straight. So even from a debate point of view, it was a wrong usage.
Why does one party feel that they have a right over even terms like the term Hindu or anti-national? BJP feels only the right to use such terms. It's not about.
But Akriti, what has the Congress gained by fighting on that battleground? The Congress has not gained anything by fighting on the battleground that the BJP wants it to fight on. That is the pitiable part, Akriti. Create your own narratives is what voters of the Congress are trying to say. Why are you agreeing to fight the BJP where they want to fight you? Temples and anti-national and things like that.
No, again, I would repeat that the accessing temples or being a Hindu is not something that only a BJP holds the right and hegemony to actually exercise.
But
so that is very problematic.
I just want to correct Akriti. This is the same Rahul Gandhi who had said once, मंदिर में तो वो जाते हैं जो चप्पल चोरी करते हैं, मंदिर में तो वो जाते हैं जो लड़कियां छेड़ते हैं.
Oh, but that's not the topic here. No, Akriti, you want to finish your point, then I'll bring in Shubhrashtha and Swati.
Inconsistencies, Mamata ji, जो मैं पिछला quote कर सकती हूँ और अभी के में जमीन आसमान का अंतर है. Here we are talking about. I'm really surprised that none of you are really saying that a serious investigation is needed because it's actually something so fundamental that needs to be questioned. You're right that it's also about why the Chief
SIR, did even
Justice is
single
not
person
involved in the
come out,
process.
and say
Again, a
that
serious
my vote
question.
was cut
We all, as
wrongly?
Indians, need to focus on this issue. It's not
But
about what Rahul said.
Akriti,
Whether
yeah,
it is
Swati, you want to rebut? Go ahead. Go ahead.
leveraging enough.
Swati wants to rebut you. And by the way, Swati also has demanded an investigation. But Swati, go ahead.
I think both of us, I think every serious journalist has demanded a serious investigation into the allegations that the EC is biased, into the allegations that, all these suicides which are happening, there's something clearly gone wrong there. We need transparency. We need to get rid of the opaque nature of the EC. Having said that, to come back to the speech today, I praised Priyanka Gandhi's speech yesterday. I praised Gaurav Gogai's speech yesterday for the simple reason that they were well prepared. They were talking a fresh language. They took on the BJP head on, but with facts, figures, and more importantly, it wasn't off the cuff. They weren't inarticulate. The problem with Rahul Gandhi is that the message is getting diluted because of the delivery. He is so limited by his own words.
No, is there an element of entitlement in this? I know Rahul Gandhi is called a lot of things, but if this lack of preparation, using these silly cliches and metaphors, Shubhrashtha, is it entitlement? Sometimes people who are critics of Rahul Gandhi say, I don't think he realizes how much he has riding on his shoulders, because the Congress is not going to choose another leader as it goes from one election to the next.
Yeah, absolutely, Shiv. And adding to that, I would just say that the opposition's messaging on the whole SIR issue has remained rhetorical rather than evidentiary, and which is why the person who is leading the charge has spoken more to the media than to the institutions empowered to take correct action. Now, please tell me, when the electorate sees noise in the press, but no formal submission or documented proof to the EC, courts, or oversight bodies, the credibility gap widens. We all know that protest movements require moral clarity and factual solidity, neither of which has been convincingly provided by this opposition. Now, India today is more politically mobilized society. The kind of voter turnout we saw in Bihar elections is a living proof of that. And people perceive real injustice, they move. Have you seen any kind of protesters on streets who are not party people, by the way? Normal electorates, have you seen them hitting the streets and demanding some kind of a justice from Election Commission? Their silence on SIR is not apathy, but a disbelief that the issue rises to the level the opposition claims.
Okay.
If the opposition, or if analysts like Akriti, and Akriti knows I have immense respect for her work, if they feel that this is a real issue, where are the protests on ground? In short, people are not on the streets because the allegations have not crossed the threshold.
Yeah.
It might be an administrative lapse, and Election Commission is answerable to that. Let's hold the Election Commission answerable.
Akriti, that is an important point. Where is the, if this was such a huge capture of the electoral system, which is so fundamental to every person's identity in this country, how come people are not out there protesting in a huge way? Surely you're not suggesting that the media or the BJP controls
by national media, Shiv. I will share with you right after this debate on WhatsApp the links of people, disenfranchised voters, and in different villages. It's just that it has not yet gathered that kind of a momentum. And I'll share as many anecdotes, not just from Bihar, but from Maharashtra and elsewhere as well, where many people have raised their voices. And it's only because of these small anecdotes that the issue came to surface. And therefore, I'm saying that, it takes a while for something as big as this to actually translate on the streets. And there are so many issues. Just because you can't see in front of the parliament there are protesters, will you not really register that issue at all?
Akriti,
I don't believe. I believe.
May I respond?
Yes, go ahead, Shubhrashtha.
Akriti, you have done political surveys. You know how it is done. You know the conversation on sample size. We all know of administrative lapses. I'm not saying the Election Commission of India is kosher. What I'm saying is the opposition is picking the wrong issue to take to the people. They need to understand the pulse. Maybe opposition should hire somebody like you to get them to the real issue. Get them on the streets, get people mobilized on real issues. I'm not saying that SIR is completely flawless. What I'm saying is Rahul Gandhi is picking the wrong battles and he's absolutely vacuous when it comes to intellectual imagination. He needs somebody to rap him on the knuckles and say, this is how you do politics and not the way you are doing it.
No, but as Swati has reported extensively, Rahul Gandhi doesn't listen to anyone apart from, a very a kind of inner circle that has no political bandwidth that you only get from years in the field, as someone had written. So, I'm wondering whether that's ever going to happen.
Ask one thing: who decides? Who decides that what battle is a wrong battle or a right battle?
But Akriti,
right? Can I tell you? On unemployment.
What happened in Bihar?
Elections as well. Electoral outcomes.
I completely agree.
Let Akriti speak. I'll come to both of you.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There are a lot of gaps there on the ground mobilization, booth management, and so many other things. And I request that you should have a debate on it, and there's so much of scope for entire opposition to think and work around and also learn from the party which is ruling, but that doesn't mean that the issues that are being raised are all wrong.
I just have one point to add, and then Swati, I think, wants to respond to you, Akriti, which is there is also a credibility issue here. One has to look at it from a citizen's perspective. If the institution, if Rahul's critics, if people sitting in the middle are saying that Rahul Gandhi needs to put his money where his mouth is, sign a sworn affidavit and other such steps, and Rahul Gandhi refuses to do it and takes a lofty position and says, I'm the leader of the opposition, my word should count as enough, then some way that's also going to affect credibility as far as the allegations. That's only going to feed the BJP into saying, listen, this guy is an unserious politician. He believes in shoot and scoot. He throws everything at the wall in the hope that something will stick and it will give him some kind of political benefit. Swati, you want to add something? And I also want to acknowledge that this is a kind of 3 against 1. So, Akriti, I will give you much more time than I give the others, I promise. Yes, Swati.
No, Shiv, but the most important thing, I will just answer her. The voters will decide, right? The voters decided in Bihar. Rahul Gandhi went to town on vote Chori. What was the result? And, making retrospective threats in parliament like he did today is extremely arrogant and extremely dangerous. We don't focus on the arrogance of Rahul Gandhi enough. Not only does he not listen to anyone, his palace courtiers aside, what is this arrogance? How can the leader of opposition threaten anyone? I'm no fan of Ganesh Kumar, but you cannot be making these kind of threats from the pulpit of parliament. It is sheer arrogance. If somebody else had done it, we would all be calling it out. Why are we not calling it out? Why is the Congress quiet on that? What kind of arrogance do you have that, if vote Chori is true, then you'll never be in power. When you say we are going to be in power and we'll change the law, it makes me incredulous because, you're A, saying that your allegation is not serious, and B, you're making threats that when I'm in power, watch out, buddy.
Yeah, we will come and find you is the exact phrase that Rahul Gandhi said.
What does that mean? It's such arrogance.
I'm nearly out of time. I think everyone's had their say, but I'll give the final word to you then, Akriti. Go ahead. Do you think that there is going to be some course correction, even in terms of messaging? One can concede that Rahul Gandhi wants to stick to the vote Chori issue and the capture of institutions, but you'll have to concede that this isn't striking a chord. Nobody is enthused by this. Ultimately, for a party like the Congress, it is also about enthusing the cadres, enthusing the organization, and getting them battle ready.
So, Shiv, I think if the issue of vote Chori has any seriousness, which I personally feel that there are a lot of irregularities I have personally been following. And it's just that it's a matter of time that there is a silent kind of a revolution that is operating on this. And it's not about which the party will be able to come in power and be answering back. It's actually something, again, I'm reiterating, much more fundamental. And electorally, there are so many things that the opposition should be doing. And that is something for them to actually raise up their levels and do it. But when it comes to the role of CJI being diluted, and when it comes to increasing centralization, and about also how selectively institutions are being used, whether it's ED and others, There are a lot of issues. It's also about corporate monopolizing and many other issues
Okay.
that are there that have been
Absolutely
raised.
wrong. That's
It's not just
absolutely
about
incorrect.
this battle or this issue.
There was a time
Unemployment
during
issue,
UPA
the
when
issue
we
of
used to have the
unemployment and
headlines in the newspaper. Madam Sonia
question from
Gandhi
how.
appoints the Election Commission. So please don't say these things.
So
I've
if
been
something
quiet
was
for a long time now.
wrong
I've
in the
been taking
Congress
all of
era,
this.
does it
But
mean
don't come out with
it has to
all
be
these
wrong
things.
in the?
Now,
No,
Okay.
ED
there is a
compromise,
fundamental difference
CBI
that has
compromise. Come on,
happened
don't
during
do
this
this.
time. Even
I
the
just want to
Supreme
request
Court
you to
said.
please go and
Even
tell
the
Mr.
Supreme
Rahul
Court said
Gandhi
that there
that
I'm
has
he
out
to
of
be
goes
time,
on
Lee.
foreign soil
neutrality.
and defames the mother India. So please, Akriti, don't come up with this rhetoric. You know, the same rhetoric which your
I
leader
think you
gives.
all know who is
On
the biggest
no,
person who
I
plays
am
rhetorics
sorry. I am sorry.
in
And
politics
let me be
today.
very
Populist
clear.
rhetoric
What
politics is
threat?
not something.
No.
Okay,
No,
okay.
Your
no, you
leader
know it very
has
well.
served me 10-page notice on 8th of November for speaking the truth, for calling out his and his party's fake narrative. That's what he does.
Okay. I'm out of time. I'm out of time. I apologize, but I'll have to cut the both of you short. But we will continue this debate because Parliament is not over. Hopefully, there will be more things to discuss. And as difficult as it may be to believe, I do have many friends in the Congress Party, and I can tell you one thing for certain, that the workers, the youngsters in the Congress Party are tired of philosophy and theory and lofty ideals and fundamentals and principles, which are all very well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this man is supposed to win them elections and bring them back to power. And right now, they don't feel like he is equipped to do that, at least from the way things are going right now. They're trying to shake him up and say, think of something else or do things differently. That is not happening. Thank you to all of my guests for joining me live tonight.